Looks like that's about the edge of the current there.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good.
I think we're good.
Oh, awesome. Hello to everyone joining us at nautiluslive.org. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for joining us as we descend down to a depth of about 1,800 meters. We're going to be exploring a ridge southeast of Jarvis Island. If you've been with us for the dives over the past week or so, you know that we've done 2 other dives to the north of Jarvis Island, 2 dives even more northern than that around Palmyra Atoll, and our first dive was north from that off of Kingman Ridge. Today, again, we are southeast of Jarvis Island, starting at a depth of about 1,800 meters, but I am particularly excited about this dive today because we will be heading up to a depth of about 250 meters. So I'm really interested to see the sort of biodiversity that we find in this area. So again, just to double check, are we all good to start some introductions?
Yeah, we're good, yeah.
Awesome. All right, since we're in the blue water, I'm going to add a little question to our introduction today, and if you'd like to expand about that question when it gets to your turn, you can go ahead. I'll start it off. My name is Al Leschinski. I am a science interpreter, a science educator from the Franklin Institute in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and that's what I do as my full-time job. But I'm out here with EV Nautilus for a second season as a science communication fellow. I'm here to take your questions, answer them to the best of my ability, and help talk with the rest of our friends in the control van. And the question that I was thinking we could possibly talk about today is about experiences any of us might have had, whether it was your favorite class or another type of training experience that is not the Nautilus, that has, excited you to do what you do or made you feel really strongly about what you do. My answer for that would be my first full-time job was as a curatorial assistant in malacology, which is the study of mollusk. Specifically, I worked with snails. I'm sure you're all surprised. I got to do type specimen verification, where I basically went back into literature from the 1700s and 1800s of different shell specimens, species that were described, found them in the collection at the Academy of the Natural Sciences, verified that they were in fact the species, and took pictures of them. And it also looks like we've got quite a bit of, what are those, ctenophores in the Hercules view right now?
Yeah, they are ctenophores.
And there are a lot of them.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, very cool.
So Steve was saying that this is a pretty active upwelling area. So we're probably expecting to see quite a bit of biology because there's going to be all the goodies in the water.
I'm so excited.
Everybody to eat.
I'm really excited.
And as we got prepared for this dive, a lot of us got to see some dolphins. And as we were launching, there was a manta ray.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was waving out of
Are you
the water a little bit.
What?
Yeah, it was awesome. But that also gives me a lot of hope that maybe we'll get some curious creatures as we get shallower. But yeah, been really, really cool day so far.
Request we hold position.
But yeah, that was my experience in the shell collection. I think if you've listened to me at all on SPL or know me in real life, I think you've gotten an idea of how that has affected me. I love shells, but I also love taxonomy. It got me really interested in the cataloging of life and how that all works, and the history of it and how it's done today and how we can do it better and how we can share it with more people. And so Nautilus Live falls right in line with what I love to do, is what I call democratizing science, letting anybody who wants in on it. And so I'm really excited to have everybody watching today. So thank you again for joining us. And now I'm going to pass it along to the rest of my team.
Hey, so this is Stephen Matter. I'm the video engineer hailing from Boston, Massachusetts. I guess if I had to highlight one thing. I didn't major in biology, but I did take a lot of biology courses, and I took a course called Symbiosis, which we talked about leafcutter ants and tube worms, and it was just my favorite biology class I ever had
Awesome.
at Boston University. So, yeah.
Very cool.
My name is Kylie Pasternak. I'm from Fall River, Massachusetts. I'm sitting in the Argus pilot chair. And I was in school at a community college for engineering, and I took an elective called Oceanographic Technology, and we got to learn about different maritime events and discoveries and advances in ocean technology, and we took a lot of field trips to like Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, and got to learn about lots of different instruments used to collect data from the ocean, like ADCPs and mooring systems and trawl resistant, what are they called? Oh God, it's 5 years or 3 years ago, so I'm like a little foggy, but it was a good, great class, immersive. And then I went to Rutgers University. Their Center for Ocean Observing Leadership, their Are You Cool lab, they had a glider training program that I participated in that was sponsored by the Marine Technology Society. And then I found this opportunity. So I've just been trying to stack as many experiences as I can.
Sounds like you're doing a pretty good job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Michael Hannaford from St. John's, Newfoundland, Herc pilot. I guess it's kind of a how did I get here question, right?
Sort of, yeah.
Something
Like,
like
what
that?
was a favorite class or training opportunity outside of, Nautilus that, was that got you into this or got you really excited about what you do?
Yeah, I started doing ROV work in industry, and then they loaned me out. The company I was working for loaned me out to for a contract job to do for Ocean Networks Canada for a different ROV provider a good few years ago now, and it was just such a pleasant departure to do all the science and science engineering operations that I kind of was fortunate enough to make some contacts out of there, and I just started contracting, and so now I work out here more than anywhere else, and I work for other science groups. So yeah, I kind of got into it a little bit on accident, but love
we're
doing all the
happy to have
science
ya.
work scopes.
A happy accident.
Yep.
Awesome.
Chris Jakes. I'm from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. I am the navigation intern on board and the navigator on this watch. It really has just been kind of a lifetime leading up to it, I guess. I grew up on the water, so I always loved being out there, fishing, boating, scuba diving, everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Scuba diving especially
Yeah.
has interested me, getting to actually see beneath the surface. And then from there, I joined the Coast Guard. I'm going to the Coast Guard Academy. So it's been awesome being able to actually go out and engage in some of the protection and regulation of these marine areas and everything within the US EEZ. So through the academy, I then got the opportunity to apply for this internship. And this is a lot deeper than you get to go scuba diving, so
Yes, indeed.
I definitely jumped on it from there.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Kevin Conrad. I'm from Oregon. I'm a marine geologist on board, and I'll keep it short because I'm loving this descent so far. But my first cruise, I was kind of had the force to go out there because I needed to get my rocks, and prior to that, I actually did not like the ocean or boats or marine life. Well, not marine life as in biology, but like maritime life. And then it was after I actually saw stars for the first time in my life, like a true night sky in the middle of the
Yeah.
Pacific, that I had to keep coming back out, and
Yeah,
I've been loving it since.
Because you grew up in New York, right?
Yeah, I actually never saw stars until I was 13 years old, and we had that
Wow.
massive blackout on the East Coast.
Oh my gosh.
That was the first time I saw any stars because I never left New York.
Wow.
Wow.
Allison Fundus. My day job is Chief Operating Officer for the Ocean Exploration Trust, and I am sitting watch lead for this watch. And I guess one of the most influential moments for me was when I decided to change careers. I started going to sea. I started as a high school teacher and decided I wasn't quite ready to spend my life in a classroom. and started going on adventures to sea.
Into the biggest classroom there is.
Yep. And I just absolutely fell in love with it. I loved how interdisciplinary of a team is at sea and everything that goes into running the expedition. And I knew that my first cruise, it's what I wanted to do. So that was 2005, and I decided to go back to school. So I went back to graduate school for geology, having never taken a geology class.
Wow.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
So that was it for me.
Very cool. Jamie.
Give me 1 minute.
Yeah. You got a lot to log here. Yeah, we've been seeing some ctenophores, some jellies, some shrimps. I think I saw a fish.
Pelagic sea cucumber.
There's a fish in the background there. Yeah, the Pelagotheria? Pelagotheria?
Pelagotheria?
Something like that.
Okay, I'm ready now. So I'm Jamie Wagner. I'm from North Carolina. I'm a data logger. And I think one of the things that really inspired me about the deep sea was the summer before I started graduate school. I had not done a marine focus up until that point, but I decided to switch to marine science for grad school. And the summer before, I was able to begin a little bit early and join my lab for a telepresence cruise at the University of Rhode Island at their Inner Space Center, where we did a cruise with Sentry, which is an autonomous underwater vehicle rather than a remotely operated vehicle like Hercules is. So you program it and then drop it in the water. It runs track lines, collects data, and then it comes back up and you put it on the ship and offload the data to see what was there. So this was the first time the group had tried a cruise like that where the shore scientists were the primary scientists rather than the scientists on the ship. So it was really strongly utilizing telepresence. And it was my first expedition of sorts, even though I wasn't actually on the ship, and it was extremely interesting.
Awesome.
And I was very interested in exploring and seeing what photos and data would come back each time, and being
It's like a
able
surprise box or
Look
something.
over
Yeah.
at the primary comp for a minute.
and being able to
other
also
gauges.
utilize telepresence to do
Okay.
science from
Another
shore
side.
and to share it with an audience really appealed to me as well. And so when I learned about the Nautilus internship, I was really excited.
And you've stuck around.
Yes, I have.
Oh, you want to step back?
We're approximately 140 meters off of the first waypoint. I didn't know if you were okay with that or if you'd want to step over there.
You mean dropping down on the waypoint, or?
Yeah, or at least getting closer. Or if we just come down straight where we are, it'd just be a 140 meter drive over there.
Which direction?
Northeast-ish. About due north.
Yeah, we don't want to step.
Like, I'm open to try it for the vehicles, but it's going to drive us further into this
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
ahead, right? Like, we're in a
it's
good position here.
It's pretty steep where it's heading, so it's probably better
That's-
just to let's descend where we're going
Roger
now, and then we'll.
that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I just wasn't 100% sure.
The acronym I couldn't remember was TRBM, is trawl resistant bottom mount. Figured that
Trawl
out.
resistant bottom mount.
Yeah, so it's like a kind of like a, I don't know if you can picture like a skate park ramp. It's kind of like that trawls can go up and over.
Ah.
And then ADCP is acoustic, oh my, Doppler current profiler.
Like a quarter pipe.
Yeah. QP.
Skateboarders on SPL. Well, thank you everybody for that lovely introduction. And it got us most of the way through this descent, it seems.
Yeah, about halfway there.
A lot of it.
We'll be
We got
turning
like a
it
third
over.
there.
Well, I mean, we got to eat dinner, so
Yeah, we'll be turning it over for dinner soon anyways.
most of the way through our part of the descent, I guess.
Drop it off with the valet.
Yeah.
God, I gotta stop saying that. Or they're gonna beat us up or something.
Oh, it's okay, because they're like the Blue Water taxi service, and we're Sea Uber.
Ronnie just pointed out that we were all polywog front row.
Oh, really?
Oh, look at that.
Are you
that laugh. That laugh, Allison.
48 hours.
Yeah, we're getting questions in about whether we feel any different.
Not yet.
Not
I feel like I'm
yet.
upside down.
I'm spinning in the other direction.
Feels like when you graduate from like, I don't know, high school or college and like they mail you the diploma, you're like, well, I guess it'll feel real when I get it. Like,
Like in a few weeks.
yeah, like we have the ceremony, but like it's not real until you have it in your hand.
Steve thought he was first across, but then he looked down and saw that there was a bunch of crew on the forecastle painting.
Yeah. We went up to
Close,
the
close.
monkey deck. Just in time for the horn
Yeah.
in our ears.
Yes, Justin got very scared by the horn. He physically jumped.
I would have loved to see that. Do we know what some of these long fish that we've been seeing in the descent have been?
Unfortunately not,
Not yet.
but we will find out.
Speaking of ID, if any of our viewers were with us, whoa, ink means one thing. Or is that just a really big snot house? I don't know. But what was I saying?
You were gonna say about last night.
ID.
The squid.
Oh, yes, the squid. Oh, thank you. Thanks for keeping me on track, Bunkmeat.
No problem. You didn't even say squid, but I knew where you were going.
Thank you so much. So if any of you were with us this morning,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
oh my gosh! If any of you were with us this morning as we ended our previous dive on Jarvis Seamount number 2, we saw a really interesting squid, and it was super cool. If you look at the Nautilus Live tag on Twitter, there's lots of screen grabs of it and pictures, and hopefully we'll have a cool video of it that we can check out. So you'll be able to check it out on the full dive recordings when they get posted. But we did get a ID on that, or a preliminary ID at the very least.
Oh, you want to see it?
Let me see.
No, I don't usually care.
And let me see. I'm losing the name now.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're looking at about half an hour to the bottom.
Yeah, so this the squid that we'd seen, we had Expert Ashore send us in a ID. Could be Asperoteuthis mangoldae, which is a squid that it has been described, but no specimen with that weird pen structure has been actually taken as a specimen. But they have been observed with that. It is part of their body, and it's like we thought it was off the back of it. But it seems like the one that we saw was also extremely long, that pen piece. Some of the pictures that I'm seeing, that piece sort of varies in length. But it was a really, really cool squid. And again, that name was Asperoteuthis mangoldae.
Asperoteuthis mangoldae.
There you go.
Cool.
Yeah, because teuthology is the study of squids.
That was a nice assist from one of our scientists ashore, Mike Vescian, who helps us oftentimes with our cephalopod IDs.
What is his name?
Mike Vescian
Oh,
from the Smithsonian Natural Museum of Natural History.
I just opened
National
up the Tree of
Museum.
Life web project, and his name is right underneath the ID.
Was he the one that helped with the piglet squid?
Probably. We have quite a few people that help us out, though.
Yeah.
So it could have been somebody else. It's the nice thing about telepresence. We don't have to have all the expertise on board for everything.
Mhm. Yeah, so that thing that we saw is a secondary tail.
Whoa.
But again, a specimen with an attached tail has not been taken as a specimen.
Yeah, I don't think there was any way we were going to get him anyways. It's too quick.
Yeah, it's true.
And apparently these, that extra tail is easily broken off and they're very thin, and that's why it has not been found with that piece. I'm interested what that tail, what the function of that tail is.
Yeah, I got no idea.
I'm gonna think long and hard about that and try and figure it out.
I mean, there's only a couple reasons you have something like that, right? It's for mating, which at the depth we were at with no light, either it's got some kind of bioluminescence or that's not it.
Yeah.
Camouflage.
It did look like a sea
pen. It did look like a sea pen. I don't see how it would bury its body in the sediment though, so I'm not 100% sure about that. Or potential predation if
it attracts things
it attracts things that thinks it's a...
That would be strange given that it's off the back of it.
Yeah.
It would have to like flip around to eat anything.
Yeah.
Unless it's got skills with those tentacles that I'm not aware of.
What about another form of propulsion or swimming?
It
I
did
mean,
kind of wave around when it was moving. It got really thin when it was moving quickly and sort of like closed up. And then when it was at first kind of sitting there on the bottom, that's when it was mostly splayed out. But
make it look bigger, harder to eat.
Yeah. Now, I'm losing all track of time. That probably was within the last 12 hours, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Would have...
Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I forgot how time works.
That was like 6 or 7 a.m. or something like that. So if you are watching and you wanna hear it, or see it rather, see the squid and hear our excitement about the squid, you can head back about 10 hours if I'm doing my math correctly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
About 10 hours on the feed, and you'll be able to check out that. And again, thank you to everybody that's joining in with us on nautiluslive.org. As usual around this time, you're going to hear some shuffling in the control van, some different voices as we are relieved for dinner break. But we are still descending right now through the water column to a depth of about 1,800 meters as we explore a ridge southeast of Jarvis Island. And again, this dive should be pretty interesting as we're going from about 1,800 meters depth up to 250 meters depth. So we'll see hopefully see a lot of different different types of animals and biodiversity down there, maybe some different morphology of the rock. So we've been seeing some really interesting lava flows and patterns on these last few dives, and I imagine that will continue. What was that?
That's what I said at the same time, except I wasn't on SPL.
It was a lump of something. And if you're curious about our snack from earlier, it was a cherry-filled pastry of some sort with chocolate on top. And the large shark that we saw at the beginning of our watch a few dives ago, again, I'm losing track of time, not really sure when exactly that was at this point, but that shark was preliminary ID'd as some type of sand tiger shark. And it was also noted that it was much deeper than previously expected to be seen, which is really interesting.
Al, you mentioned we're starting at 1,200?
1,800.
1,800, okay.
1,800 meters.
Okay.
And we've got a viewer writing in that from this point, the squid sighting was about 10 hours and 35 to 40 minutes ago. So if you want to try and check out that really cool squid that we saw, you can rewind in the feed and check it out. And then again, in a few days, these live dive recordings, full recordings, will be available on YouTube for you to enjoy over and over again. And we've got a lot of people writing in about the blue tarp and the big crate. Those are pieces of equipment that will be used later in the season.
The blue tarp is actually the air conditioning that's going to go on this fan when we get to port.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
There you go. Mystery solved. And if you want to learn more about Nautilus Live and the Ocean Exploration Trust, definitely click around on nautiluslive.org. We've got a lot of different pieces of resources on there. Of course, we've got photos and videos, so highlights, photo albums from expeditions this year, last year, many years, all the years that Nautilus has been exploring. So definitely check that out if you want to see what we have seen on previous expeditions. We also have a lot of career resources. So if you're interested in some of the career paths that you hear about through this program, I highly recommend checking out some of the bios that go along with our roles. So underneath the video feed, you can see the little pictures of everybody who's on watch. If you click those pictures, you can get to our bios, and you can read bios from people that aren't on the ship right now, are on the ship right now. If you use that search bar and just search sort of, what you're interested in, like ROV pilot or engineer or, science communication fellow, if you want to learn more about the others that have done this role, then you can definitely check that out. It's a great resource, especially if you're looking to, kind of get into some of these fields. You can see how many different paths people have taken to end up with EV Nautilus. And then also, in addition, we have a lot of other educational resources. So if you hit that education tab on the website, it'll tell you about the Science Communication Fellowship, the internship program aboard Nautilus. We bring interns in mapping, navigating, video engineering, ROV piloting, ocean science intern, bring them on board for all different expeditions throughout the season. And that could be you. So, read up on that. And in addition to all of that, we have a bunch of educational resources like lesson plans, activities, supplementary videos about technology, write-ups about all the technology on board. So, go wild. Have a good night. You're going to find lots of cool stuff on all those resources while you're watching along with the live feed. And definitely, if you use those resources, we love to hear about it. So let us know. Let us know if you use them in your classroom, if you use them just for you. It's not just for classroom teachers, these lesson plans and activities. You can check them out yourself, use them with kids that or you do them just yourself. There's engineering challenges, all sorts of stuff. I could quite literally probably go on forever. And yeah. All right, and another thing that if you're interested, you can go to our website. There is a donate button on the nautiluslive.org page if you'd like to help support the Ocean Exploration Trust and Nautilus Live. The Ocean Exploration Trust is a nonprofit, and we would appreciate your support. We appreciate you watching, sharing videos, sharing the feed with your friends. Let us know.
12 minutes.
All right, if you're just coming online with us, we are about 1,400 or so meters into our 1,800 meter dive, so we will be at
Guess
the
that's
bottom
it.
shortly. And we'll begin exploring our seamount just southwest of Jarvis Island.
My math has us about 10 or 12 minutes.
All right, so won't be very long at all now.
See if I get Doppler. If we do, sorry.
We got wow.
Have we seen any of the pictures from the GoPro? No?
Yes. Actually, I was down in the data lab, and Allison was sorting through them. Only one I saw was when the crab tried to hitch a ride.
Huh.
And so it was a lot of pictures of
Blue
him
water?
trying to climb onto Hercules. But there were some really good photos.
That's good.
But it stayed on through the entire dive, so there's a couple photos they got to sort through.
So it wasn't time lapse.
Kind of. It was one every 10 seconds.
Okay. Okay.
So like a still frame time lapse of sorts.
Through the entire dive?
Through the entire
Last
dive.
one?
So it was
16
hours.
Do that for us real quick. 16 times 6. Go, go, go. 96. Is it 96?
Yes, it is 96.
That's not that many. You acted like it was thousands.
Wait, no.
Just in case.
Times
No.
60.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's minutes in hours, not seconds.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need another 60.
So
96 times 60.
Yeah.
so 930.
I don't know. That's math. Don't ask me to do math on the fly. 96.
It's my understanding there would be no math.
Just doing this in my head real quick. I think it's about 5,760.
It just okay. That's good. At least you didn't have to take your shoes off.
Yeah, no, my head means on a calculator.
But so an hour and a half of those are blue water.
Yep.
Oh, and then coming back up.
Be interesting to see if there's a temperature drop. It was 3 point something, and just a couple. We crossed the line there. It dropped to 2.9.
Right at the surface, we had a good shimmer like a thermocline.
Yeah. I was just wondering if that's a thermocline.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
But I think Jess is right. It's a bounce.
Yep, there's the bottom.
Echo, echo, echo.
Hello, Kylie.
I am still drying off from our sweat fest, so getting there. What was good?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes, first destination. Yeah, we started a little bit off, but got set off streaming because of that current.
All over the place. We're everywhere, man.
So close.
All right, 50 meters off bottom.
Looks like you're coming down a little bit on the edge of this.
Yeah,
ridge
roger.
here. These are 10 meter, just for reference.
Okay. All right, you want to stop there, Kylie?
You want me to take the ship's heading?
Just hold on, I'll get out in front of you. We'll figure it out, whatever, see what way we want to go.
Sounds good.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Al.
And again, we are descending through the water column southeast of Jarvis Island. Going to be exploring starting at about 1,800 meters. And again, if you're looking at quad view, what you're looking at
Okay,
is
start coming down easy.
Jarvis Island. are certainly getting close. If you're looking in Hercules view, you can now see the seafloor.
Put your auto heading on there, Kylie. Or your thrusters aren't enabled.
Right.
Take the auto head off and then turn them on. Yeah.
Do we know what heading we want to take?
Not sure yet. Doesn't matter right yet.
Oh, they just closed.
Not happy with your sonar though. It's not really doing anything.
It looks like a dense coral population right off the bat.
Yeah.
You have me on DVL, Chris?
Not yet. Let me do a rough one. I'll do a better one when you guys do the
Yep.
white balance.
Speaking of, video is ready for white balance.
Yep. Stand by one.
Oh, nice. Look at that.
Yeah.
All autos off.
All off.
Roger that. Alrighty. Alrighty.
You're good?
All set.
Alright, your sonar looks better now. Fix that. That's more better. Yep, okay. Okay, go ahead and zoom in.
And okay, we're gonna go black for a moment.
Roger.
Okay, all set, thank you.
Okay,